But so very glad to have you both from the Allman Betts Band on Southern Songs and Stories here on WNCW. And thanks to Sean Rubin, our engineer, for setting this up. And so glad to talk to you guys about especially your new record, Bless Your Heart. And right off the bat, the phrase, bless your heart, it's often an affectionate kind of phrase, but it can be a not so subtle dig about someone who is ignorant or maybe doing something wrong. So it seems to me that reflects that some people are going to maybe get the music, and maybe some people, you might just have to say, bless your heart. What do you think?
I think that it is a multifaceted, thing going on with that. For us, I think it's tongue in cheek. It's a little fun. It's Southern based. It could mean, hey, bless your heart for buying our record. Like, it could be very sincere, or it could be, oh, bless your heart that you have to listen to such, crappy modern music. Here's the real thing, or we just thought the Stones might have named a record that, so it kind of rolled off the tongue. There's so many ways you could roll with it.
Yeah. It's a sassy little title. I'm really happy we named our record Bless Your Heart. I think it's a great title, and it's fun, and it's tongue in cheek, and it can be like really sincere and sentimental, and
it's all of the feels.
Yeah.
Well, talk about some of the music on this record, and the first single, Magnolia Road. It stands out as not only that first single that you've put out into the world before the full album releases later this month, but it was also written by Stahl Vaughn, and he's co-written a lot of songs with you on your first album. And can you tell us more about Magnolia Road and how this song came about?
Wait.
Yeah, Magnolia Road was just a song that Stahl had written. And Stahl is really good at kind of, writing songs with certain people doing them, having them in mind when he writes them. And not in an overdone kind of cheesy way either. Like, he's really sincere. And he had this song, and it was undeniable when we heard it. So we just kind of, at first we were like, well, that's really good. And then he played it again, and we knew we had to do it. So it was just a really cool thing that he brought in that we knew we had to do.
Another first on the album is the bassist's vocal debut on The Doctor's Daughter. Could you tell us about Barry Duane Oakley and how this song made it onto the record?
And we heard him playing it, and we just thought that it was kind of a zone of music that we really hadn't gone and explored yet. It was kind of little Beatles in there, little Wings, a good portion of Pink Floyd in there, kind of felt like, and it was a cool space for us to kind of exist in, and he's a great singer. And I think it made sense. I think that the band is starting to get older, and it's cool to watch it flower out and see other guys do other things. And, who knows what's next? It's a great piece. Hey, could you keep it down in there?
Trying.
Pay no attention to the peanut gallery. He's a lovely dude. He's a really, a lot of people that maybe aren't familiar with Barry Oakley Jr., Barry Duane Oakley, maybe a lot of people think he's just a bassist, but he's actually, a guitarist, and dude can play some drums and some piano and sing. He's a monster. He's a well-rounded cat. So
yeah,
we're lucky to have him in the band, and we're fortunate to see some of his stuff shine. It's
yeah. Cool. Sometimes backstage, if there's a piano around, he'll sit on the piano, and it's some of the best entertainment I get on the road. I know there's a place in Richmond called the National, I think, and just listen to him play piano is really fun. If there's a piano around, he has a really good sense of, he kind of has that Beatles kind of, a different area of musicality that, maybe we hadn't gone into yet.
Yeah, it can be easy to forget sometimes with a band like yours, and all of your bandmates, the guys in your band, have enough star power and enough talent that they could typically lead their own outfit and do any number of things.
Everybody could. I mean, I've never heard Lummy sing, so I don't know. I don't know if Lummy could pull it off, but he could probably really nail like a hip hop record. But totally. Yeah, everybody's full blown, kind of multi instrumentalist, and the ability to sing. And I mean, Statch makes his own songs. Johnny Statchla, R. Scott Bryan was a really important part of Sheryl Crow's band when she was hitting it hard, and in the charts. And he's done his own records. So yeah, I mean, John Genty as well, great producer, has done his own records. So everybody brings it.
It's a team, a strong team.
Yeah, it keeps Duane and I on our toes. Like we better come with good material, because then they could just say, "Hey, no, what about that?" And they haven't done that. They trust us, which we love.
Devon, I wanted to ask you, in another interview, you talked about needing to be in a situation where the song is the boss. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, man. I mean, I think we've all been there as artists. You start out. I was in a couple bands where, I don't know, I think maybe some dudes were a little, like my last name kind of overshadowed some things, and they felt like they had to play more or be more visible or be, and it's like, whoa, we got to play the tune, man. We can't be going nuts on the instrument. It's play the song, not the instrument. When I first got in a band with Cyril Neville, the band was called Royal Southern Brotherhood. That's when that really galvanized for me, that it's like, well, here's this cat who's like, I mean, this world-class, rock and roll Hall of Fame cat, who's a heavy hitter, and I got to play alongside him every night. Like, I just got to be sincere and soulful and play the song, and, you pick that up and you learn to slow things down. And I still learn every day, but I think that this band has a bunch of cats that are very in tune to play the song, not the instrument. When it's time to kind of lean in and do your thing, and when it's time to lean back and let another aspect of the song or the show shine. I feel really fortunate to be with such musically mature men, is the best way to probably put it. That's
great. Can you talk about this summer and this unusual summer you're having where you're basically not touring, but I do see you have some dates coming up. I wanted to ask you if you've been able to play anything out from this record before now, and what that not being able to really play much of it, I'm assuming, in front of a live audience, how does that change your relationship with it? I know that so many bands are releasing albums and they're not really able to tour on it. So that's kind of an integral part to, I think, your whole makeup. It would seem that, from my view, the Allman Betts Band would be a band that lives off of playing live and having that interjected into the songs as they make it onto the record.
Just had to remind us, didn't you?
Yeah, it's different. But the good thing is that everybody's in the same boat, and it's across the board. Everybody is going through the same thing. So it's still really exciting to put a record out. And yeah, of course, we miss having that exchange with the audience night after night. We're a touring band. We do a lot of shows. And so, yeah, we miss that. But we're still super excited to put this record out. And, it still feels amazing. And you have to adapt, it's not like we can't do anything. We just have to adapt and do things a little differently, and Everyone does. So
I think we're adapting okay. It's tell you what, Joe, it's a one hand. I haven't had a summer off since 2004. I really started thinking about it. I was like, and I mean a whole summer, like, June, July, August. So I'm really loving it in a way, like there's some like, wow, okay, we get to just kind of be a human being, because in any touring rock band will tell you that, it's your bread and butter. It's when you play festivals. That's the time of year you have to tour, but on the other hand, missing that energy, like Duane was saying, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to not have that, and keep it down. And I think we're trying to do the best we can. We're doing some streaming shows. We're doing some drive-in shows. That is certainly better than nothing. But man, I'm going to get really, really pissed off, as I'm sure a lot of people are, if we're in the same predicament next summer, and not to get into the whole politics of it, but it's starting to get, and it should never have been about politics. It's a medical thing, it's a health related thing. It's starting to get ridiculous, and I want to go and see our people, and go make music.
Mm-hmm.
Wanted to ask you about musical tastes. It's always interesting to me to find out an artist or a band's musical taste outside of their main gig. And Duane, your time in Dawes got me thinking about this question. What are some of the things that you like or you might have done that folks might be surprised to learn about?
As far as like people I played with, or
people you played with, or just musical interests that you have that people may think fall outside the spectrum of Allman Betts?
Well, people might think things that, I don't know what people think, but I mean, Devon and I are we grew up with MTV and
I think that we like things like
Little Maiden,
a little metal here and there.
Yeah, well, the twin guitars, that's there.
Yeah,
you guys got it. They've got it too.
I mean, I have a deep respect for metal. I would say stuff like bands like Interpol. I like MGMT a lot. I like the first record they did a lot. I think that's a ground. I like Tame Impala as far as stuff that's really current. I think they have some great stuff. I like, stuff like that. I mean, Devon and I both like The Cure. We both, had a common love for metal. That was more in my early years, but I still have a deep respect for. In fact, I just put "Hit the Lights" on, off of Kill 'Em All, Metallica's first record. I just put "Hit the Lights" on an Instagram story for Devon's birthday because I knew he'd get a kick out of it.
Oh, I did.
But yeah, I mean, we listen to a lot of stuff.
I do, it's really funny because I think that, a lot of people that are familiar with us, think that we must listen to nothing but Southern rock, and that's really kind of, at least for me, I won't speak for Duane. I mean, and I love Skynyrd, and I love, I have a lot of love and respect for a lot of those acts. But man, I tell you what, I dig a lot of jazz. That's what I listen to when I'm at home. That's what I cook to. That's what I hang out and put on, and wake up in the morning, put it on for the shower. I mean,
yeah. I mean, if you really, when I say, we listen to a lot of jazz. I mean, like he's been listening to a lot of jazz. I've been listening to a lot of Bob Marley lately. A little bit of.
I wasn't done yet, but I'm glad that you listened to a lot of Bob Marley.
What were you going to say? Sorry about that.
Oh, you're good. Totally a lot of jazz. I listen to some metal. I listen to a lot of indie rock. I think something to change it up from what you do, is good. I think I think the more that you put in the well that's different, then when you go to pull it back out and put it into your own thing, you've got maybe this little spice on it, this little something different you know, if you listen to only Skynyrd and only the Allman Brothers and only this and only that, you know, things might get a bit derivative. So I think having some flav in the pot is good.
And the kind of music that you're playing draws from so many diverse elements just by itself. So that's really a neat thing to witness. People pulling from jazz, people pulling from, you know, the whole Southern rock thing. That's got so many elements in it, and I think increasingly folks are not just one size fits all with it, you know, just like one sort of tone in what they listen to. Increasingly, I would argue that the coming generations, the latest generations especially, have grown up, like you say, on MTV, and now streaming just opens that whole box where you can listen to so many things, and you don't have to be locked into one format on a radio station.
Like Latin. Like Latin music. Yeah, no, I think you're totally right on. And I think, you know, I watch Duane's stories a lot on Instagram and notice some really different things. And I think that when we have these streaming platforms, you know, there's some downsides that we're not going to talk about. But the upside is, man, you can kind of go down this rabbit hole of finding new stuff all in a matter of an hour and discover 5 new artists like that. And there's some power to that. And I think that that's really cool. And I don't do that enough, and I need to. Keep it down. There.
Well, as we come towards the end of our time together on Southern Songs and Stories, Duane Betts, Devon Allman, thanks so much for being here. I want to ask the obvious question about the South. I usually get around to this in all of my interviews. And if you could reflect on any of the musical or cultural points that are reflected in your music that is Southern or specific to where you came from, and also maybe what you think about what people are going to pick up on about the South when they listen to Allman Betts.
Maybe it has a coastal feel. I don't know. I'm done. That's my last background.
He's doing backgrounds. I don't know if people can't see him. Every time he does that, he changes his Zoom background. So there's a palm tree now. No, I think I don't know. For me, I mean, you know, I think of my grandmother's house and the smell of collard greens and fried chicken and chickens and you know, I mean, we've been raised around a lot of good Southern folks, you know, in Macon, Georgia, and people. There's a certain hospitality and a certain spirit of people coming together that I think is indicative of the South. That, you know, people are kind in that way, and you know, I think that that's something that we've grown up with and that we hold dear. You know, as Devon.
Yeah, I think it finds its way into the music. I mean, I grew up in South Texas, and you know, grandparents listened to country music. That definitely got in through the osmosis of, you know, the radio, and fell in love with some you know, 70s rock and stuff. And you know, I mean, it all kind of finds its way into the soup. And I'm grateful that we grew up in the South. You know, and there's a lot of bands out there that, you know, the Stones wish they were from the South, you know, like they got that thing. They love the South. You know, Clapton went through his Oklahoma phase, right, where he stole all the best cats in Oklahoma, and he wanted to make that really Southern sound and, you know, kind of Western Southern thing. And I think it finds its way in the mix, you know, and so many legendary artists from the South. So it's amazing to be able to record at Muscle Shoals and do something that's got that Southern flavor. And you know, it's kind of full circle.
Excellent. Devon Allman, Duane Betts, Allman Betts Band, their second album, Bless Your Heart. It's a winner. Thanks for being here on Southern Songs and Stories.
Awesome.
Loving it.
Have a good day.
Out there in the universe soon.
Love it.
Later.
Bye.